Our top story, there's been a lot of talk about democracy in the last couple of days. The opposition says the BJP is murdering democracy in India. In fact, last night, the Congress held a protest called Save Democracy March. It has been the common theme in all opposition protests in the last 1 month, that democracy is under attack, that democracy is being throttled. It's a serious charge to be made in the world's largest democracy. Today, Prime Minister Modi responded to those charges. He was speaking at the second edition of the Summit for Democracy, co-hosted by US President Joe Biden. The first edition was held in 2021 and aims to bring together democracies of the world. Prime Minister Modi's message today was global, but it was also a direct response to the charges being made by the opposition at home. Prime Minister Modi said that India is indeed the mother of democracy. He said that the idea of electing leaders had existed even in ancient India. Listen in.
India is indeed the mother of democracy. Democracy is not just a structure. It is also a spirit. It is based on the belief that the needs and aspirations of every human being are equally important. That is why in India, our guiding philosophy is sabka sath, sabka vikas.
The timing of this statement is important. Within India, the opposition is accusing Prime Minister Modi of destroying India's democracy. Earlier today, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee held a massive protest with a fake washing machine on stage. It was a symbolic jibe at the BJP's use of central agencies to target opposition leaders. She says that this is against the idea of democracy. The idea behind that stunt is that you join the BJP and suddenly all the investigations against you are dropped. Same thing happened to BJP's leader of opposition in Bengal, Shubhendu Adhikari. He was being probed by the CBI in the Sharada scam, but after joining the BJP, the summons and interrogations have suddenly stopped. In effect, the washing machine purified him. The BJP purified him. Listen in to what Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee said while raising protests and placards saying, "Save democracy in India."
The government of the agencies, by the agencies and for the agencies. এবং বিজেপির ব্যাপারে সবকিছু মাপ, সিপিএমের ব্যাপারে সবকিছু মাপ, আর তৃণমূল কংগ্রেসকে প্রতিদিন বা অন্যান্য রাজনৈতিক দলকেও অপোজিশন যত আছে ফেডারেল স্ট্রাকচারটাকে ডেস্ট্রয় করে দেওয়ার একটা চক্রান্ত চলছে।
टुवर्ड्स प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी अगर हम नहीं कांग्रेस पार्टी और सारी पार्टियां मिलकर अगर हम कांग्रेस और सारी पार्टियां मिलकर अगर डेमोक्रेसी को डिफेंड नहीं कर पाए, प्रोटेक्ट नहीं कर पाए तो एनार्की हो जाएगी हमारे मुल्क के लिए और हम सब के लिए, आप लोगों के लिए, सबके लिए बहुत बड़ी तकलीफ।
I'm going across for a quick chat with my guest this evening. Tuhin Sinha is spokesperson of the BJP on the broadcast. Professor Monojit Mondal is spokesperson of the TMC with us on the broadcast as well. Gentlemen, good evening and thank you very much for being with us here on Mirror Now. Monojit Mondal, let me start with you. The Prime Minister today is once again reiterating that India is the mother of democracy. He hasn't said this, but this is something that the BJP has constantly said, that when you question and attack the democratic principles in this country, you're embarrassing India globally. Respond to that.
Shreya, if I can get your indulgence to read a letter written by Nobel laureate Amartya Sen to one of my professor friends in Shantiniketan, where he's saying the following, just 3-4 lines later. Can it be true that the leaders of the opposition in India cannot any longer oppose? Can even be a minor judicial officer make the task of highest opposition leaders in the country go away? Where has democracy come to in India? This is Amartya Sen writing to one of my friends in Shantiniketan. I mean, I think this speaks volume about the kind of democracy that is practiced in India. Yes, apparently we have the right to speak. Yes, apparently we have the right to agitate. Shreya, the problem lies in the fact that when you are using the government machinery as a repressive operative tool, then it becomes a problem. Tool just to selectively target and maim the opposition, whether it's in case of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, whether it's in case of Abhishek Banerjee and his family, or many of the opposition leaders, most of them incidentally belong to Trinamool Congress. There lies the problem. And that too, you are selectively not even targeting your own leaders, not yours, but as Mamtadi was quite eloquently talking about, the moment they're switching sides to other political parties, they became doodh ka dhula hua, even in case of corruption, where the government machinery is used as an oppressive tool by the political party to maim the opposition. There lies the problem with this democracy in this country.
Okay. Let Tuhin Sinha come in here because I've promised our audience we won't drag it. We'll have a very quick chat. Tuhin Sinha, democracy and dissent are not mutually exclusive. They go hand in hand. The point that Professor Monojit Mondal raises is a point that the Aam Aadmi Party has raised, is a point that the Congress Party constantly raises, is a point that the opposition raises as well. That this government is completely intolerant to any dissent. Look at the pictures that came to us from Red Fort. Here were Congress leaders who were holding a mashal march at the Red Fort. Is protesting in this country now anti-democratic, that there is a crackdown and police will detain you and not let a protest happen? It's when things like that happen is when the opposition charge of India's democracy being under threat or being murdered gets credence.
Well, good evening, Shreya. Good evening to all your viewers. A very happy Chaitra Mahanavi to you and to all the viewers. Well, if democracy is in danger, it is in states like Bengal, where the ruling party celebrates its victory by killing people of the opposite party, for which they have even been indicted by the Calcutta High Court. But apart from that, in the rest of the country, democracy has only been strengthened. Now, when you talk about the Congress protests, you need to realize that they are protests without a cause. At the end of the day, it is a judicial decision. It is a decision of the court which has led to Rahul Gandhi's disqualification. So logically, what does Rahul Gandhi need to do now? He needs to appeal to a higher court. Are they trying to say that Pawan Khera is more important than Rahul Gandhi, that 1 week after the decision, they haven't filed for a review, or they haven't filed for stay in a higher court? So I think the Congress notoriety needs to be called out. This is the land of Lord Basaveshwar. People who glorify Tipu Sultan will never realize the virtues of Lord Basaveshwar. That is the core truth over here.
Tuhin, let's not digress. I asked you a simple question. I asked you, you may think what you want to of Rahul Gandhi and whether the appeal is being challenged or not. You're not the only one questioning it. It's fairly surprising that the Congress party has not gone to court over it. Okay? That is an established fact. Fact is, their cause may be just or unjust, stupid or wise. Do we in this country have a right to dissent? Do we in this country have a right to make a joke without being sent to jail?
Shreya, you need to understand what is democracy at the end of the day. It is providing equal opportunities to all. It is respecting people's verdict. So I will give you the best example of the working of Indian democracies. Preeti Irani contested against Rahul Gandhi in 2014. She lost. She worked harder. She won the seat. Rahul Gandhi is so dispassionate as a member of parliament, is so detached in his work, so indifferent in his performance, that he will now even continue to lose Bayanat. But why blame democracy then? When it comes to protest, you have every right to protest. But are you trying to say holding up traffic for days on end in the national capital without reason, does that not amount to anarchy? Is the police, is the government not accountable to the common public? That day after day, they will block roads, they will disrupt parliament. I think at the end of the day, there needs to be some amount of accountability, which the Congress doesn't have. The reason why it is declining incessantly, but the reason which it continues to decline.
Tuhin, you've just called opposition protesting anarchy.
Yes. Can I respond?
I mean, anyhow, let Monojit Mondal come in. Yes, Monojit Mondal, go ahead.
Look, one of the biggest opposition leaders in the country at the moment protesting for 2 consecutive days. And if he calls it anarchic, then it's his problem. People can understand what is what. I tell you one thing, Shreya, it's very clearly. When you are putting students in jail, on the one hand, you cannot prevent murder of 50 people because of riot under your nose during the same point in time. I'm referring to Delhi riots. And on the other hand, you are putting the students in jail and keeping them jailed for 9-10 months. Ultimately, it turns out in a Delhi court that they should not have been jailed under and sedition law. Sedition law was actually scrapped by the trial court, and then only 144 violation and other violations, charges are going on. There lies the problem. Read the trial court judgment. It's a fascinating judgment. I am referring to another trial court judgment, probably lady judge in Delhi court, where she was defining democracy as my friend was trying to do, defining democracy and how democracy should go with the idea of dissent. Dissent doesn't mean sedition, my dear friend. Dissent means you have the right to criticize your own government. The moment I criticize my government, you call me an anti-national? Do I have the right to criticize my own prime minister? Mr. Modi is my prime minister. He is a terrific speaker. He is a terrific orator. But his oratory is lying largely on hollowness. Can I not say this? I'm praising him. But I have to call out the hollowness of his speech, which is a terrific speech. He speaks like Marcus Antony in Julius Caesar in swaying emotions of the people. I give that to him. But largely those speeches are hollow. Can I not say this? If I say this, I become an anti-national. He's also my prime minister. This government is also my government. I mean, you need to be tolerant. Facts remain that this country is gradually moving towards a kind of plutocracy, which is, in modern parlance, which is known as banana republic. You have apparently all the democratic systems are functioning, but you have some kind of an elected autocracy in the country that is going on. Nobody can question him. Nobody can criticize him.
Monojit.
The moment we yes.
Monojit.
Yes,
many people will say that's exactly the case in West Bengal and Mamata Banerjee as well. If the BJP governments in different states put stand-up comics behind bars before they even crack a joke, fact is that a professor who was a cartoonist was sent to jail as well. Right? By Mamata Banerjee for what? For circulating a cartoon.
I'll respond to charges. My friend, Ambikesh is my friend. He's from this university where I'm sitting at this point in time. He was in jail for few hours because of a local complaint where 66A was in vogue. Nonetheless, that is turned out to be wrong at this point in time. We say this is wrong. Legal case was wrong. But look at the Subhendu Adhikari. There are at least 10 cases of including murder. Did we jail him? Did we put him in jail? Did the government of West Bengal put him in jail? Forget about Ambikesh Mahapatra. He was jailed, and that could have been wrong. It is proven to be wrong. But Subhendu Adhikari, there are cases of murder, dacoity, theft, and whatnot. Did we put him in jail? Nitish Pramanik, another of your minister. There are 12 cases of murder, dacoity, sexual harassment. Did we put him in jail? But you are putting all the opposition leaders. I mean, even there is semblance of charges of corruption, and which are not even leading to conviction for years. Look at the case of Madan Mitra.
Tuhin.
He was in jail for 9 months, 10 years back. No logical conclusion, no conviction in case of Madan Mitra. His family was destroyed. His reputation was completely maligned.
Yes, you can. Monojit, let Tuhin speak. I have 3 minutes on the show.
It is so ironical for TMC to make these absurd allegations. The point is they don't know the functioning of India's democracy. Today I am challenging Mamata Banerjee. Every state government has an anti-corruption bureau. As a state government, you can initiate inquiry into Subhendu. If you are so upset about Subhendu Adhikari being given a free check, you initiate a state government inquiry. Prove him guilty. But the point is, you only blame the central government for nothing. You are saying that dissent is not allowed in the country. How much more will you criticize the government? It's only now that when you have turned abusive that the courts are calling you out. We have given you a free run. You kept abusing us. But it's now when you have turned into vicious, poisonous language that the courts are calling you out. The courts are punishing
Mr.
you.
Sinha,
and you are blaming the democracy for that.
Mr. Sinha, I reply. The cases are going on, investigation is going on. The difference between the Bengal government and your government is that we don't put them in jail when the investigation is on.
Nothing stops you
We do
from
not do
initiating
that.
a state
We do
government
not
inquiry.
misuse the law enforcing agencies,
You don't
unlike
even
you.
use it.
There
The question
lies
of
the
misuse is
difference.
not arising.
That is called political morality.
Use the law.
We could have put Shubhendu Adhikari in jail, but no, investigation is on.
Who's
Here's the
asking
point.
you to put him to jail, order an inquiry beyond what the central government is doing, start your own inquiry.
Gentlemen, here's the point.
What he has done.
Irresponsible
Here's the
political
point.
leader, but a leader.
Here's the point.
He is a political leader, but
Here's
an
the point.
irresponsible leader. We are not putting him in jail, but you are using the agencies and putting
Where
us
does
in
the
jail.
question of
Even
putting him in the
before
jail
any
come?
kind
If
of
at all
charge
somebody
sheet.
has to
Even
go
on
to jail,
on
Abhishek
the day of
Banerjee may end
filing
up going to
charge
jail
sheet,
sooner.
on the day of filing charge sheet, you put 3 of our ministers in jail to him. What are you talking about? Subrata Mukherjee is no more. He died. He was in jail.
Presiding
At the age of
over,
Tuhin,
if
Tuhin,
the
the point is,
10 crore worth of cash is,
Tuhin,
it is a common thing
देखो,
for 10 crore
Professor
worth of cash
Monojit
to be found
Mondal
out
and
from
Tuhin
close
Sinha.
associates of Mamata Banerjee.
Gentlemen,
He's missing the whole
I'll
point.
I'll ask you to pause for a bit. I'll ask both of you to pause a bit because A, I'm out of time, and B, here's the thing I want to say. Is democracy being murdered in this country? Maybe not at this point of time, but the signs are worrying, Tuhin Sinha. The signs are worrying when the opposition is stopped. Ek second, but when the opposition at every turn is stopped from taking out a protest or dissenting. Can I criticize my Prime Minister? I vote for this Prime Minister. Of course I can criticize him. Why does that make me anti-national? Today, there are things that the court has said, the Supreme Court has said, and I'd want all our viewers to stay on with the show because I'm going to that next as well.
Shreya,
when you start vilifying someone like Deepika Padukone because she shows up at JNU, ek minute to him. When she shows up at JNU and when you have an entire troll army that goes after her, what does that say about our democracy? Please tell me that. What does it say about our democracy that Veer Das cannot perform in this country anymore? What does it say about our democracy when a stand-up comic is arrested even before his show begins? देखिए,
19 of our
खतरा मंडरा रहा है. Democracy is strong. Our democracy is strong, but the signs are worrying. I'll just say that.
But by blaming the country, by blaming the center, you are doing a big disgrace to the country. There are several state governments which are guilty. Some of ours as well. But that doesn't mean that you paint a negative picture of India, and especially abroad. Democracy is the strongest that it can be ever. And like I said, democracy has many dimensions. To understand democracy,
Nobody is portraying bad picture of India abroad.
That India's exemplary performance in
defaming India's democracy abroad wala bogi to is out of the window for me. You know this defaming India's democracy wala bogi is out of the window for me, Tuhin. Please, anyone who's heard Rahul Gandhi's speeches, and I really urge our viewers to, not listen to the BJP, not listen to the Congress, not listen to the TMC, or not listen to even Shreya Dhoundial. Just go to YouTube and listen to what he has said, and they can make up their minds themselves. We leave it there, gentlemen. This has been a good debate. Thank you very much, Tuhin. Good to see you on the show. And Professor Mandal, good to always have you on the show. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much.